so
I think
sad.
the current government has really hurt
so
JR,
sad.
and then they need to do something about that.
Yes.
Moses, I'd like to hear your opinion about this.
Okay, so manifestos are policy proposals by parties that determine the way they want to steer the affairs of the country, the direction they want to go, and how they intend to do it. Yeah. Now, one of the key indicators of an ability to implement a manifesto is your credibility and what you've done in the past. Okay. Now, when you take a look at the Bawumia-led administration, that probably they might win, he would be heading. They have serious credibility issues regarding the policy proposals they put in the Bold Solutions Manifesto. Now, this Bawumia-led administration came to meet our debt stock at 120 billion Ghana cedis. That is how much we were owing when they came in 2016. Currently, it stands at 742 billion Ghana cedis.
Crazy.
Okay? Currently, our debt to GDP ratio stands at 104%. So if you look at the economic indicators, it shows clearly that there's a level of cluelessness on the part of the person who is the head of the economic management team. So when you make the argument that he's just a mate, the records and the facts show differently, because if you're the head of the economic management team, it means that you are spearheading economic policy directions. And this is the same vice president who attributes himself the successes of this administration. When it comes to digitalization, he trumpets it as his trump card. But when it comes to the failures of this administration, he shies away from it and says that he had no hand in it. So clearly they have credibility issues. And yes, as Khadija said, on paper, it looks like they have a blueprint to turn around the economic fortunes of this country. But you see, what there's a kind of saying that says, "Quadricracy over mounting into ma tieniding." There's been a track record of managing our economy in such a dastardly way that it's difficult for me as a Gen Z to believe what they are proposing. Do you get my point? So that is it. The solutions they've outlined, we gave them 8 years to be able to entrench our development progress and our trajectory. They've not been able to do that. So when you come up with the over 200-page document that tells me that you want to do A, B, C, D, it's difficult for me to believe you because you've plunged us into hopelessness. That is the challenge now. Now let's take a look at the alternative, the National Democratic Congress, Social Democrats. What are they saying? They are saying that they want to reset our country, which I am all for, because if we look at where we are as a nation, we need to go back to the basics and reset a lot of areas within our economy and social life. And that is what the manifesto, they call it the Reset in Ghana Manifesto. Now, what policies directly benefit the youth? One, the 24-hour economy that she's already touched on. She's explained it extensively, and she said that we get to create an economy that works around the clock. And you were asking a question about how are we going to pay for the excess workforce that is going to be generated. The point is, once you're able to boost productivity, it increases revenue, and then you're able to pay the additional workforce that is going to create. Currently, 32% of the Ghanaian youth stands unemployed. So when you create an economy where consistently our economy is running from hour to hour to hour, it means that you would need more people to fill those spaces, and those people get jobs for themselves. So that's one of the things I'm happy about in the manifesto. The second thing I'm truly happy about, especially because of the digital direction our world is moving in, is the training of 1 million young Ghanaians in coding and allied digital skills. I'm very happy about it. And just recently, the communications director for the Bawumia campaign team said the MPP might have copied the manifesto from the NDC manifesto. Because in the MPP manifesto, it's also embedded that they want to train Ghanaians in digital skills. And so I'm even happy that at least the two foremost parties are thinking alike when it comes to digitally training Ghanaians, because that is the way to go. Yes, traditional job creation avenues like agriculture and allied fields exist. But we need to start positioning the Ghanaian youth in the areas of entrepreneurship and digital skills. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm even far more happy that within that plan, they have spelled out that they are going to partner the private sector. So it's not a situation where we are training Ghanaian youth with digital skills and we are not giving them jobs. So there's going to be a partnership with the private sector. And it's easier for me to believe the NDC because the Accra Digital Center, which now the New Patriotic Party, the current administration, has turned into one of the hubs for the passport offices, etc., was built by the SWL and NDC administration. So if they are telling me, they've done it before, and they're telling me that they want to set up regional digital centers and train Ghanaian youth in digital skills, it's easier for me to believe. But back to everybody's favorite digital Baba.
You have your Ghana card though. You can't use your Ghana card to do a lot of things.
Oh. Do you want me to go into the Ghana card conundrum? Because you see, one of the most illogical statements I have heard being made by anybody, and I have a lot of respect for the vice president, but for you to tell me that you choose Ghana card over interchanges, it clearly shows that you can have a PhD and not be intellectually sound.
Yeah.
You get the point?
Yeah.
So for me, the Ghana card is a step in the right direction. It does not like it's overly an achievement, because you need to have a form of national identification. Doing that alone does not put food on the table of the millions of hopeless Ghanaians. It doesn't put food on our table. You need to create jobs. And that is where you failed woefully. You get the point? So for me, their manifesto is, one, a regurgitation of old promises. Two, it is a galore of future promises that they've already shown that they can't fulfill. So you get the point. So I find it difficult to understand that you've created a blueprint that is not in consonance with your character. You have a character of not fulfilling your promises. And mind you, nobody is saying that manifesto should be implemented fully, because we've all accepted that 4 years, some of the outlandish things they put in their manifestos, 4 years is not enough, or 8 years is not enough. But at least we should see that you're on a trajectory.
Yeah.
She mentioned the e-blocks. I can tell you that over the, I think the number is around 200 to 300, about 200 to 300 e-blocks were stipulated to have been built. Over 100 have been built before John Dramani Mahama exited office. That is someone who's on a trajectory to show us that he can do the job. Out of the 275 factories that were promised under the one district, one factory, how many have been implemented? So clearly, this administration is they're just doing it because politically is one of the practices we must go through. Parties must create manifestos, so they're just doing it. But truly, if you're a right-thinking member of society and you're analyzing, you'll notice that the NDC has shown a far more greater commitment to the Ghanaian youth. They even went a step further by launching a youth manifesto through pomp and pageantry. They brought young Ghanaians to head the launch. It was beautiful. For me, the future of our nation is in safe hands, because some of the people I saw, that the way they carried themselves, the way they spoke, it showed that we have great human resource when it comes to the young people of this country. So for the NDC, I give them the plaudits. Last thing before I end, the no fees policy that my good friend from the New Force was touting. The policy is similar to what John Dramani Mahama wanted to implement at the SHS level, progressively free SHS. You get the point. We are not in an economic space where we can say we are giving everybody free tertiary education. We can't do that. But you see, the impact of this wicked and demonic Nanado-led administration has made it difficult for people to even afford tertiary education. And so how do we ease the burden? Rather than being very deceitful and promising 4 years free education, why don't we start from what? The basics. So for your first year, your tertiary education is free. But beyond that, we have put in stopgap measures that even if, and mind you, this policy is not for the aftermath of the policy, there are definitely going to be people who can afford tertiary education. Yeah. So when we are done, you can pay for your education. But we are not stopping there. There's also the stopgap measures that seek to do what? Help people who cannot afford after the first year has elapsed. And that's the Student Loan Trust Fund, which in the manifesto, the NDC administration is seeking to revamp it and make it more robust, so that people who couldn't continue after the free first year, they can continue and do what? Access that. Beyond that, if you look at the economic interventions that are being established in the manifesto, for example, they have promised that within 100 days, some nuisance taxes, like the betting tax, which my boys will be very happy about, because some of us is the odds that we used to watch. Yeah.
COVID tax.
Yes. COVID tax, extra is going to, all these things are going to be removed within 100 days to ease the burden. So it is a hand-in-hand measure. Whilst we are trying to make the economic space a bit more favorable for everybody, we're also instituting such measures to make it simple for a lot of people to get access to higher education. That is the point.
Yeah, so I want to add to what he said. So in the educational sector, the NDC also said that they will be introducing a free apprenticeship like training for people who want to go into those vocational stuff, and I feel like it's a good policy, because in Ghana, if you don't want to go to the tertiary side and you want to learn something skills with your hand, like you want to learn skills, you have to go and pay a lot of money, sometimes feeding and all that. But if they are thinking about us and they know that some of us don't want to further our education, we just want to do something with our hands, and they are introducing this policy, I feel like it's a very good one for us, like a very, very good policy, because some people don't further after JHS, some don't further after SHS, they just want to go and do some apprenticeship work and all that. And I feel like if they are thinking about people who want to further their education, they are also thinking about Gen Zs who don't want to like further their education to the universities and all that.
Before water comes, let me just say something. And this is not as if I am saying that the existing challenges within the senior high school level and the basic school level should not be addressed. If you take a look at the manifesto, it seeks to eradicate some of the already existing challenges within the education sector. Yeah. You get it? At the basic school level, the infrastructural challenges, the manifesto seeks to provide more infrastructure. At the senior high school level, it has already said that probably there will be policy reforms to the free SHS to make it a bit more robust. Yes. So whilst we are taking a look at the challenges at the basic school level and the senior high school level, we must also want to lend a hand to those who are even struggling to get higher education at the tertiary level.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much. I see your type a lot on morning shows. But like, I just want to say this honestly. I've heard both parties talk about it. It's not like I'm saying anything out of the blue. I just want to say this. I've seen politicians promise us that they're going to give us free water, and then months later we end up paying for those free things. We've seen politicians promise us that, oh, this is free, just take it. And then the next minute they are telling us because they give us free education, they can't give us light. Because they give us free education, they can't provide our children with good food, because they are paying for our education. When we take the free education, it's not only about, okay, beds, like they all said, like the food. Like is at a point, the caterers had to like do a protest and all that type of thing, like just for them to be paid. I'm looking at all those things. That's why any political party that has any free thing in their manifesto is side eye for me, because I don't trust. They are all the same soup. Honestly, they are all in the same soup. I don't trust, because I've seen someone who could not live up to expectations. And I know there are people who are struggling, who want to go to the university and cannot afford. In my opinion, if Mahama really, and it's not just putting free this just to persuade some people, and if he really thinks about them, he should work on the student loan and make it more accessible, because honestly, in my opinion, what I've heard, I'm not going, but what I've heard, people bribe, people go, you have to do connection before you get a student loan. Exactly. I think what he should have done was to say that he was going to better the student loan, so that that's embedded I'm coming. Can you guys allow me?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, I feel like if he said that, I know, like free water. I'm just scared, because I don't want to wake up one morning and then everybody's going to the university. Look, I went to free SHS, and the truth of the thing is, free for all. The number of people that were in the class, it was just like, okay, let's say 100%, but just 30% really benefited.
Exactly.
There was quantity over quality. And I fear that our tertiary sector would face that same situation if that is allowed. I just feel like, if you really think about us and you really think about those that don't have, open the student loan, make it more accessible, so that those students or those people who cannot afford tertiary really, because you can't tell me, okay, fine, you take me to level 100, nice and simple, I'm in school, then level 200, I can't afford. Then what do you just do? You just poured water in a basket. Like, you didn't do anything. And you are saying that, okay, you're going to make allocations, scholarships. That scholarship, it is politically inclined. You have to know somebody who's going to get that scholarship. Exactly. And it's something that happens. That's where I'm coming from. Like, it's not like, okay, any political party that has anything free, you are lying. I'm not voting for you because I've seen it before and it has not helped us. I don't know who told them that we really need free things that badly.
No.
Put in the work. When you put in the work, we would vote for you. I feel like stop telling Ghanaians, stop throwing that in the eyes that okay, free things. Do the work. When you do, when the economy is running, we will not need free things to really put our children to. Our parents will not need you to pay our fees if the economy is really working. Yeah. We will not need you to pay our fees. We will not need you to give us free water. Yeah. Like we will not need those things when the economy is really working. Tell me that you make sure okay, things are going to really work, and not come and tell me free what, like I don't get anything. There's no free lunch anywhere. Like, let's be honest here. They will give us a free tertiary, and then when we complete and we are not getting job, they'll say, oh, but I gave you free tertiary. And fine, they are saying they are going to, after level 100, they are going to make scholarship accessible to how many of those level 100s who are going to complete are rest assured that all of them are going to get a scholarship. Then why not you continue it and make it everything free? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are going to find benefits from the thing at level 100 and they might not benefit from it again. I think he should have, design the student loan in a way that everybody...
The MVP or the NDC?
NDC, like who is... I'm not talking about MPP. Nah, not today. So, but like, I feel like he should have worked on the student loan. That will make it, because I know Mahama has done progressively free education. Yeah. If he came and he said, oh, he was going to make it in a way that is going to be accessible, and then as time goes on, he'll make it free. I feel like I would have believed him because he started with the progressive, and we all know that like the nigga lived up to expectations with that part. But like, as for now, as I've seen, like the young people of today, our eyes are open. Like we now know what it really is. You gave us free education. You thought you were joking. We went to school to learn, and we now know that in our constitution, education is our right. Exactly. So don't come and write it in your manifesto that it's free. Like, bro, grow up.
First of all, him saying that he doesn't want politicians promising us anything free is absolutely wrong, because some things need to be free. We need to move away from all this capitalism that is embedded in our system. He stated clearly that education is a right. Why should someone sell your right to you? Shouldn't it be free? So and we have an instance of when someone decided to make it free. It is not a bad policy. It is good. People have been able to go to school, but it's just that his own wasn't thought out. But with this one that Mahama is bringing forth, it is thought out. He came up with what? A first year. That for me is, because I'm an economic student, it's like an MVP. He's putting it out to test the waters. Can I actually afford it? He didn't go and making the entire thing free like what they did here, and now they're pushing half-baked cookies into the tertiary system. I'm in school. We are in Form 3 now. But I went here last 2 years. We have not gone through half of the curriculum. But we are going to write something, and then the next thing we know, we'll be placed. And then we'll put the future in our hands. But what do you see where I'm coming from? But then looking at the university thing that he's coming up with, he's going to give you 1 year free, and then you know that the next year you are going to have to pay. So if you are actually supposed to be in university, you will sit up, because scholarships are merit-based. Yeah. So you sit up and then get a scholarship. And for those who know that they don't want to sit up, he's making the student loan accessible. Maybe you even sit up and you're an average student, you'll be able to get through with the student loan. Yeah. And those who are not able to get it, some
people can even pay.
Exactly, and some people can even pay. And the fact that even now, you move forward by student loan or scholarship, you will keep up a better behavior, and therefore it will not be everybody that is in the, like with SHS now, everybody is there. Yeah. And now because of that, you are seeing all kind of things that you're not even supposed to hear in SHS. People dying, people killing people. I mean, in school, the people that I work, I'm even afraid to walk in the hall, because some people are not supposed to be in school. Fast. So like, you made it free, everyone is coming in. So if you want to make it free, and you've thought it out, I appreciate that. Oh, and also one thing that I was supposed to talk about that I slept on. Like, the fact that one thing I saw in the NDC manifesto that I really appreciated was the fact that he said sanitary pads are going to be free. Yeah. Because that is long overdue. Like, it is long. I mean, this is a natural thing that happens with women. Why should we have to pay for keeping ourselves clean? Like, would men be okay with us walking around bleeding out on the streets? Why should we have to pay for sanitary pads? So if someone has finally seen it and decided to make it free, I appreciate. Till now, people were paying tax on sanitary pads. The price was through the roof. That people I don't sanitary are not supposed to sanitary, but then some people cannot afford sanitary pads, and that's period poverty is just a thing that if a country is still if we're in a place where girls cannot afford sanitary pads, then I don't think you should even talk of development.